Hey guys, it's Casey here. Shout out to my boy Mitchell, top 32. Got the prize card, evenly matched Matt.
Finished placing top 32 at the North American World Championship qualifier with Gold Pride Punk. Deck performed great for me all weekend. First, just got to give a couple shout outs. So first and foremost, shout out to my sponsor, Team Jobber. We're kind of like a family here. And shout out to Gerardo, actually getting top 4 in this tournament, making his way to Japan next month. So best of luck to him at Worlds. Adan Salas.
The godfather of the deck,
godfather,
right? Yeah, the creator of this deck.
He recently topped the Seattle regional, I believe it was Portland.
Oregon, yeah, Oregon.
One of the first people to top with the deck, telling me the deck was insane. That leads me to my next shout out. We got Adam Belohradsky here, other godfather, probably the actual godfather.
I like acquaintance better,
Right. Shout out to the other people playing the deck as well. We have Ricky and Yui as well, who also played the deck. Shout out to the people I stayed with. Couldn't have made it without you guys. Tamir, Ed, Oscar, Jonathan, and then Landon, my roommate in Arizona. Kyle Profa, Andrew Morrow, the Boyos, our Arizona locals. We got Jackson, Noah, we got Jake Hazel, and Jorge. Shout out Calvin Chow. He did the grind, couldn't make it. Shout out Mount Fuji, married man. He's insane. I know how he gets. Shout out to the Bagelmans, Noah and Michael. They're just awesome people, two smartest people I know. Jose Santiago getting first place after Swiss, that's huge. Crush Cards, YouTube, they're insane. And then, the Arizona locals, Shogun's Dojo, shout out everybody. NorCal locals, and most importantly, my girlfriend Maddie. Couldn't have done it without her support.
Also, check out nextlevelanime.com. Great anime apparel for a great price. If you use RPA, you get 10% off. Thank you guys. All right, Mitchell, show me this.
We got 3 Zeoman, best card in the deck, 3 Foxy Tune, and 3 Ogre. Also play 3 Emergency Teleport, so you have 12 copies of Zeoman. You want to max out this card, you want to draw. I'd rather see 2 than 0. These ones you don't want to see as much, but it's not really a problem if you draw them. Deer Note, probably the worst to draw. You got the Shark, the Wagon, and the Spider. These ones, they're all part of the combo. Set up your pluses, the field spell, get the trap, and then go into carry right into the gold prides. So we got 3 Leon, 2 carry, 2 baller, 1 nitro head. Now these cards are just insane. If your life points are lower, they are all extenders.
How many cash players got this token and then just cried?
A lot. It also turns off Lightning Storm and Evenly Match. I try to end on nitro head almost every game. It's one of the best cards in the deck. Plus it's just a level 8 extender. I play rank 8s, I play level 11 synchros. Nitro Head is just an insane card. I love Nitro Head. I don't even mind drawing it, as long as I have a way to go lower in life. 1 Ghost Ogre, so it's searchable off the Dragon Drive. Sometimes, you draw extra pieces, so you don't need to search, like the Spider, for example, off the Dragon Drive. You can search Ghost Ogre. It's really insane versus some matchups. It's not as good versus certain matchups as well. The Nyan, the Virtual World. We elected to play this card over the, Tracer or the level 3 Psychics. Dragon Drive also includes the effect to send from deck. So if you're playing under Droll, which is probably the best card versus this deck, we're going in on that piano right now. It actually plays through Droll. It's the way you put another level 3 on board, you can go right into carry, synchro with it, because when it comes back, it's a tuner, so it can allow you to keep playing. This is the best card in the game, Cashier Fenrir. See it, you special it before your combo, search your Foxy Tune discard, and then you get to make Baron. It's just the best card in the game. It outsgoes in match.
You just leave it on board, right? And it's actually just an interaction.
It's an interruption. It's like literally the best card. I like to play 2 just because I didn't want to draw 2, and you see 1, you get the other. You're usually discarding the second off the Foxy Tune, so it's not like having a 3rd in deck. Even if you see it, you might have something on board, can't summon it, or even if you do, you can't search anything else. So into the spells, so we got the Field Spell, Spot of Greed, and Special Summon from hand. I just played 2 the Tenki. Elected not to play the Reborn. I didn't really have any instances where it came up. I think Adam may have. You can chime in here if you'd like.
I ended up not playing it. It did come up for me a few times in Reborn, but I think if you play the deck optimal, you probably don't use it.
Yeah, a lot of the times I would draw this, and then I'd just make carry, search the second copy, and then have an extender for next turn. Or a lot of the time when I had full combo with it in hand, I would use it as the Foxy Tune discard because I know I'm just getting the second one at the end of the combo. So it really didn't matter. It's just like a placeholder. It's good to have 2. I wouldn't play a 3rd. But it also, turns on all your gold prides. So not only does it search, but it puts you at lower life, which, is half the deck. The 12th.
The God card.
This card, so good. It can special Ogre. You don't really do that in this deck, though. You want to special your 3s and use the effects. Upstart, I actually play 43 cards, funny enough, with Upstart. Don't really use it for the consistency aspect or anything. The reason is it gives your opponent 1,000 life points and you're at lower life points than your opponent. So I tend to, if I have Xiamen plus Upstart, I do everything, and then after I search out all the bricks, get the spider, get the trap, try to get the other trap, get the field spell, special the deer note, then I Upstart, so I'm gonna draw into like a power card or something that would be able to help me.
It's also like just good side patterns, right? Like if you just need a side out, it's always Upstart.
It's like, oh, what do I need to side out? Anti-spell exists, so taking out there. Droll is really good versus the deck, so it does play into Droll. Not a lot of people mained it. Overall, good card. And power spells, 3 Cosmic, 3 Talents, and 3 Dark Ruler. These cards were just insane. So, the 6 power cards versus the Arise Heart turns off a board. This is like, you draw this versus the Runic Sprite deck. You just Dark Ruler,
game
Cosmic
over.
the Fountain, game over.
Thing to note real quick, this also loses you life,
Yeah.
so you get a Cosmic, clear back row, and all your gold prides are live.
And they become extenders. So Cosmic was actually just insane. I don't know why I wasn't maining it since day one. This card was so good. And if you draw it first or second, either clears a back row or it's an interruption. So this card's just insane. Tactics could be banned. This card's just nuts. Dark Ruler, self-explanatory. And then we got the 2 traps here. So we got the Start Your Engines. Vroom, vroom, vroom. This card, insane. It loses to Ash, but so does the Shark. So if you got that far, you're probably resolving this. It pops a monster when it's normaled or special summoned, and then you choose 3 gold prides from your deck, and 1 gets special summoned randomly. So usually they roll a dice or something, and you can use Leon effect to special back. You can go Baller, and then lead into an additional interruption. So usually this card becomes 2 interruptions. So it's 2 for 1 interruption. You got the searchable imperm. So usually hit like Zeus or whatnot. I try to start with these if they're playing into a board, because these cards, popping cards, doesn't turn on talents. So unless they have more extenders than these 2, talents is still dead. However, if they keep playing, obviously I'm going to interact with them, and have to deal with the talents from there. But try to start with those usually. We got the 2 fusion monsters, Happy Birthday Grimace. This card, insane. You try to go Shark into it. It like makes the deck lose every hand trap. From there, like if it resolves, you're just like plussing 5. You special Wagon and Deer Note, search the field spell, activate the field spell. 8, the Dragon Drive, and then you're going 1, 2, either or. If you go Deer Note 1, Dragon Drive 2, you can send the Nyan, and then the Deer Note specials, and then you can special the Nyan because it's already there. It really just like depends on your hand. There's not like an exact line to go every time, but usually that's how I go. And then you can also, if you don't have access to the spider, it can search the spider, and the field spell can special it as the extender. Draw a card first and then draw another card after you search. This card is Thousand Eyes Restrict, not targeting up to the number of materials. So you can go 2 or 3 usually. I mean, technically you could do more, but non-targeting monster removal is always nice during either player's turn. Played 1 carry, only 1. It also goes back to the extra deck on end phase, so you technically have a second. Played Fortune Tune. A lot of times when you have Xiamen or Wagon, you can just go right into the Fortune Tune. Came up a couple times, especially for like Runic decks too. They all target. So just attack. When it would be destroyed by battle, you can just detach 1, and then you just go right into Zeus, and then Zeus is just the best board clearer. A lot of times you tactics take to try to make Zeus, but just the threat of Zeus, it's really good versus purely. If you can like try to tactics take something with like 4 materials, the double mat Zeus. These 2 cards, we got the monster negate and the spell negate. A lot of times in the combo, if I have an extra level 3 Foxy Tune off the Deer Note, and then be able to make this, and then not lose to Nib, which actually ended up knocking me out of the tournament in top 32, unfortunately. And then, this card's really good versus purely branded, runic, like spell-based decks, where like it's not like a Dark Ruler you're losing to, where it can just interrupt. And I mean, Dragon Drive essentially already replaced itself. Synchros, we got the level 6, the Star Leon. This is a quick play up on your opponent's turn if you have less life. And so you target a monster in the main phase, gains attack equal to it, and then if you're at less life, which is the concept of my deck, destroys the monster as well. Drag and Drive. This card just gets you going. Pay 6, get a level 3 Psychic, Ogre, 9/9 Engrave, usually the Spider. Pay 6 so you draw off the spell, and then it has a second effect. If your opponent responds to a Punk card activation, you can just special this from grave. And then it triggers to pay 6 again. And then I also played Scrap Dragon. This card is like my goes in match versus Lab. A lot of decks played goes in match. So playing into back row, you just go Z-Almond, search Foxy Tune special the Deer, special Scrap Dragon, and then the Deer specials back a level 3 monster, so you just have food for the Scrap Dragon already. Or, you know, popping the Tenki after you search is always nice too to maximize value. I played the Emancipator. So the carries and the Shark Fusion are water. This card was live a lot of the time. You can make it with Baller and Leon. Came up a lot, similar to the 38. If you can get both of these, it's like branded, you're pretty much cooking. Huge shout out to Dallas for finding me the Scrap Dragon as well. It's the only card I didn't have coming into the event. I needed to find one Friday and really came through, so shout out Dallas. On to the higher level synchros, we have Baronne de Fleur. When you start with Fenrir, it's insane. If you tactics like a Fenrir take or a Unicorn take versus Ash, you know, it can make Baron really easily. 2 level 11. So this is the Punk Dragon. When it's summoned, bounce up to the number of level 3 psychics you have in grave and on field. The win condition versus Lab is you just try to end on the Shark level 3, because during your opponent's turn, not just main phase, turn. So you can do it in phase. You can pay 600, quick synchro into this, and then during their in phase, you know, you just bounce all their back row versus Lab. Punisher, you know, you're losing, so it gains the difference. So this card is the finisher right here. This card just wins so many games. Came up so many times. Basically, if they don't crack your board, you just make this and you just attack for a game. And then the last card was Dark the Dark Charmer. Really summoned it with some of my side deck choices. I played Abyssals in the side, so came up versus decks where Abyssals came in. So it's just good to have, like if you tactics take a Rise Heart and you can't like make Zeus or whatnot, you can at least link it off into Dark. We have the GOAT, Pankratops, probably my favorite card. He's a 2-for-1. He can attack, threaten, an interruption, deal with an interruption, and pop something else, so he's crazy. Kurikara, I played 2 of them. I probably should have played a third looking back at the event. My losses were to Cash twice and Lab once. So I'd probably play a third Kurikara going forward. This card's crazy. I should have like OTK, just summoning it. It's just 3,000, 4,500, 6,000. And then, you know, all your guys are just huge attack. These also help enable OTKs, but they really deal with branded deck, hitting the Gimmick Puppet to make sure you don't get Gimmick Puppeted. Plus, they don't lose to the McCourier bird like Bell. So if you chain Bell, they just McCourier it. Where if you do this in phase, they McCourier it, stays in hand. Where they try to Gimmick Puppet you, you just do it again. And then, you know, it searches a second copy, so it's further interruption, as well as the 3 Ash Blossom. I didn't see a need for this to be in the main because I figured it would be cash dominant, and, you know, it was, as the top 4 was all cash. Really good versus Lab, really good versus branded. Some other rogue decks that Ash comes up in. Power card, Harpy's Feather Duster. It's an anti-spell, but, you know, you saw the top 4 of the European Championships. This card hit for 5, it can just win games. It's at 1 for a reason, so is Called By. Same as like the Magnamuts doesn't lose to the McCourier. It also can hit like Heavenly Spheres or the Link 4 for the Live Twins. It could also hit Droll. So I decided this going first to hit like Ash or Droll, as well as 3 anti-spell versus most decks. Anti-spell just turns off half the decks in the room, just their engine, as well as a lot of the power cards, that Tactics, Dark Ruler, Thrust, turns off Duster, Lightning Storm. It doesn't turn off evenly, but you give them the token for that, as well as the Lightning Storm. Yeah, deck was awesome. Thanks for having me on your channel, Kyle.
No worries. Thank you, man. Congrats again.
Thank you.